Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now, after having just looked at the Spectrum version of New Zealand Story, now I'm taking a look at the Amstrad version. And like the Spectrum version, Ocean Software were responsible for releasing this conversion, and it seems to be coded by Choice Software, the same ones who converted the Spectrum version. And the Spectrum version wasn't too bad, all things considered. If monochrome due to the Spectrum's attribute limitations, but otherwise a generally very good port. Let's redefine the keys and get this thing going. Fire, up, down. But again, they're putting right first, then left, which makes no sense to me. Left and then right seems to be more logical to me, but never mind. Just loading up the first level. Right. Level 1. Well, the music's there, and it's got that first section that was missing from the Spectrum version's music. Graphics are quite blocky in this, which is a bit unfortunate. And oh dear. There is noticeable frame rate drop whenever the screen gets busy, and the scrolling's quite bad. I'll give you hurry up. Give me. Oh. It seems to have the same jumping issue that I mentioned in the Spectrum version, that you can't seem to go forward. Oh, I don't like that brickwork. I kind of wish they'd simplified it or left it out completely, just left it plain brown. God, that boomerang nearly hit. I very nearly didn't see that boomerang because it blends in too well with the brown of the background. That's one of Tiki's friends rescued. On to the next level. It is quite jerky, this version. I've got the joystick there, so if I manage to get a flying machine out for the first time I use it, I won't be hampered by gravity. Oh, the scrolling in this really isn't very smooth. It's quite jerky, actually. Oh, it's... Right. Again, because I've got that joystick, it's not syncing. So I've got to get... Oh, don't touch those spikes on the ceiling. Oh, there's one of them. Oh, did I pick up a clock? That star enemy's not moving. Yeah. Even though it's more colourful than the Spectrum version, somehow it doesn't look quite as good. See, it's gradually sinking. Oh, I forgot the scrolling. Why is Tiki so close to the top of the screen? I need to be able to react to things, and I can't if I can't see them in time. Oh god, see, I could have very easily hit those because of that push scrolling. I mean, I know the Spectrum version had push scrolling for vertical, the scrolling in particular, but it's particularly bad in this version. Oh god, that was close. Ooh, the laser. That's a nice laser sound effect. Oh, there's a penguin. The penguin is another of the vehicles that you can ride in the New Zealand Story. Oh, bugger, that blooming thing, teddy bear shot a bow and arrow at me. Well, I think it's a teddy bear anyway, I don't know. fair, I need to get on one of these to get over that wall. Oh, that scrolling's hideous. Music's pretty good. It seems to have all the tune, although it's a bit shrill. So you can easily land on spikes because of the push scrolling. See, look, that didn't even start me in an area where. Oh, you bastard! That guy shot me with that bear. Shot me with one of his arrows. Under the water we go. Oh my god, look how slow this is going. Is there really too much on the screen? Oh yeah, good, you can still spurt water out of your mouth while you're sort of on the surface of water. You can actually use that as a weapon against enemies as well. There aren't as many frames of animation for those snails when they're and crabs, hermit crabs, when they're about to fire things at you. See, look, that door actually obscured the enemy. Oh, I want that balloon. Yeah, as in the Spectrum version, some balloons you can actually be on the underside of as well as ride on top of them. And this is one of them. This is that balloon of the metal balloon. The metal balloons can't be burst, but they're too big for small tunnels. But I'll have to get that on this occasion. I want to get on top of that if I can, where it's not going to let me, so let's see if I can do it here instead. Get on top of it. Oh, I don't get on top of it. Oh no. Those bats are a nuisance. They drop those triangle things, wherever the hell they are, on top of you. Oh, shut up. That blooming metal balloon should have protected me. Well, I think I just regained that life I lost. See, that's one of those balloons that can only take a certain number of hits. And as you get arrows telling you which way you need to go. Oh, there's one of those penguins again. Oh, damn it, I lost my balloon. Oh, you bastard. I nearly... See, again, that's a problem caused by the push scrolling. The boss. Is it going to be able to swallow me up in this like in the original arcade? They couldn't fit that into the Spectrum version. I just had to shoot it from the outside. Originally, oh my goodness, this is going to be hard. Oh, I couldn't move. So that's New Zealand's story for the Amstrad CPC. It's not that great, really. It's got all of the theme tune there from what I can make out, whereas the beginning bit was missing from that of the Spectrum version, but everything else about the game is a bit lacking. Graphics look incredibly blocky, and sometimes the particularly with that brick background, sometimes things blended in too well with it, and it would have been preferable if they could have simplified the brickwork on the graphic of those tiles so that they weren't so busy. I mean, there were points where there were boomerang throwing enemies, and their boomerangs are the same colour as the wall, and it was very hard to see them. And generally, the sprites aren't as well animated as in other versions either. There's some frames of animation missing. Again, that could be down to RAM constraints. Sound is pretty good. I mean, music's good, and the sound effects I heard seem to be good. I didn't see the bomb, so I don't know what the bomb sound effects are like. I'm presuming that the bomb is in this version, but I definitely heard the laser sound effect, and that was pretty good. Gameplay, it's a bit choppy, if the truth be told. The scrolling's incredibly jerky, and it causes problems where the push scrolling, even more so in the Spectrum version, can cause you to very easily touch things that are not safe for Tiki to touch, because you can't see that they're there until it's too late, because the scrolling can't keep up. And the fact that everything's not as smooth as in the other version makes it a little bit less bearable as well. I mean, for instance, as I said, one of the frames of animation when a hermit crab drops down before it fires off one of its projectiles, one of the frames of animation is missing, so you don't get quite the same reaction to it that you would have done in other versions. So you're not quite sure when it's going to fire off its projectile, which again could lead to some rather unfortunate and unfair deaths. And generally this version isn't as much fun to play as the Spectrum version I've just reviewed, and it really is a shame. But that jerky scrolling and some of the aspects of the graphics let it down quite a bit. So I'm going to give New Zealand Story for the Amstrad CPC 5 out of 10. I'm sorry, but this version just isn't nearly as much fun to play as the Spectrum version. It may be more colourful, but apart from that, it's actually definitely worse at performing than the Spectrum version. So 5 out of 10 for the CPC for the version of New Zealand Story. Sorry, Ocean, but I know you can do. You could have released a better title than that. This is a bit of a duffer. Hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Taxi88 out.